right now. Hey, what's up, everybody?
together.
Shooting the Blow with Brock and Dwight, a.k.a. the world's strongest plumber. He finally got pink eye, folks. You can see it. He got poo in his eye.
This one.
We just talked about that last podcast. You getting poo in your eye, but that's okay. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, not at work either.
No, it's weird.
Recreational.
You got to keep you just get when you're eating ass, all right? You don't rub your eyes in it, okay?
Don't go down too far.
From
Keep
here down. That's it. Don't fart in my face, honey. Okay, so we're doing it. It's weird for us. I know anyone watching, whatever, it doesn't matter, but you're getting ready to go to Automotion up in the Wisconsin Dells, big car show. You've been going to this thing for how many years? We used to go together. What is this, like your 30th Automotion?
Dude, I think it's been going, like, I've been going there since 96. So
96. Jesus.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. When it was downtown, when it was like, you know, like it was still big, but they had it like, or upper Dells, right? Is that what they? Yeah, I guess it's upper Dells.
That's where I think it was still there when I used to go all those years ago,
and
right?
Then they went to Noah's Ark, and then now they're at Mount Olympus with it.
Oh, Mount Olympus, great go-kart tracks there at Mount Olympus.
Absolutely,
fantastic.
Absolutely.
What car are you
wave
taking?
Pool.
And wave pool. Wave pool is a dangerous thing.
I have a 68 Fearless, the Fury 3 convertible that I'm taking up there. Big block 383 car. It's the one I pulled out of I pulled this car out of a Section 8 building, underground parking. That's an interesting story.
It was just sitting there and not being driven under a cover or something?
Probably hadn't been driven in over 10 years.
No,
it wasn't under a cover, dude. Like the pictures I have of it, it's covered in about like 3/4 of an inch of dust. And it was underground. It was heated and everything. It's a Section 8 building downtown Madison. And I was doing a big project there, and I walked downstairs to like shut off the water one day, and then there was like this looked over like farther down the way for this parking garage, and there's this like front end of this old car sticking out, and I could see the tail or the side markers on it. The side markers were 68 Chrysler, because 68s they all had the round side markers on them. So I'm like, God, that's like a big C body or something. And then later on, I went down there and like went over there and took a look at it, and here it was Fury 3 convertible in not bad shape. Yeah. So I left a note on it, of course, being the scumbag I am.
Hey, you want to say? Hey,
I'm like,
the
hey,
only reason
that?
the only rean Dwight and I are friends is because he tried to buy my car from me when I was 16 years old. I was washing it at the Trollway Liquor / car wash there in Mount Horeb, and I'm sitting there washing my Charger, spraying out the engine bay, you know, just doing a terrible job with it. And Dwight coming over thinking he's going to con the 16-year-old out of this numbers matching B5 blue 71 Charger.
Yeah, dude. RT car, real RT car.
Yep.
Yeah.
Real RT. And then I sold it.
I spotted that a mile away. I was like, that sucker. A kid don't know what he's got to pull in there. Hey, you want to sell that, kid?
You know, that was.
I know he needs pot money. He had a little Playboy bunny sticker.
Come on, look at that guy. Look at he's a real piece of shit. I can buy this car from him cheap. That was 20 years ago, Dwight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't that fucking wild?
Yeah, it is wild. Jesus. Yep. Well, anyway, I tried to buy it off of this guy. Same way. and lo and behold, it didn't work because he called me drunk. And yeah, dude, called me up. He's hammered drunk. And he's like, I really need the money. How much you give me? And I'm like, I'll give you $9,000 cash. I'll give kids cash today. I'll come get the car today. And just trying to get it out of it, get away from him. And I knew this guy was a basket case because just how the building was, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, he's like, I don't know. I really need money bad. I'll call you back. So he calls me back, and he's like, I just can't do it. I can't do it. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Well, if you want to sell it, dude, I got some money. And but it ain't gonna be $9,000 anymore. So lo and behold, like November comes around, and we're down at the Muscle Car Nationals, and we had a car there. And this guy calls me, and he's like, "Hey, I'm so-and-so's son. I found your note that you left on my dad's car.
Yeah.
And do you still want to buy it?" I'm like, looked at my wife. I'm like, "Do you still want to buy that Fury?" She's like, "Yeah, let's do it." And I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, "How much?" And I'm like, "I give you $6,000 cash." And he's like, "I got to talk to my brother." Talks to the family. Comes back. He's like, "Yeah, we'll take it." Went down there.
Stole that car.
Swear to God. They're like, we don't even know if it runs. And I was kind of playing into it like, yeah, I really don't know if it runs. I had no idea. I just looked at the car. And I'm like, for $6,000, you can't lose, right? Yeah, I know, right? So the guy had told me the dad had told me that he had popped the motor in it a little bit ago, and the motor was like fresh. That he had it rebuilt and everything. This was this guy's baby, dude. Like he took care of it, but he just, I mean, substance abuse, right? Like
Yeah,
just didn't
yeah.
have time for it. Like other things took control of his life. So I went down there with a battery, obviously, put the battery in it, put an
Uh-huh.
ignition switch in it, and the thing fired right up. And it fired right up to the point where like we didn't even have to push it out of the parking garage. We drove it out onto the trailer.
Oh my God, you
And from there I tore
motherfucker.
it apart. Yeah. Yeah. Just redid the
God.
interior because it was trashed and
Oh,
and
so okay, so you had to put some money into it, but still though, god damn,
put a
man.
couple grand in it. Yeah, 2, 3
Yeah.
maybe tires, from dry rotting.
What
Checked
is it with
everything over.
you guys, you and Zach always come. You came across that fucking beautiful Blazer too.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
in a fantastic shape.
yeah. It was in a barn, right? Like literally in a
Fuckers.
barn. It was that thing was perfect. And that Old Cars Weekly came and did an article
Yeah,
on that.
did a whole
Yeah,
piece on that thing because it was in
yeah,
such good shape. God
yeah,
damn.
dude. Original owner. Yeah, that was crazy too.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
keep finding all these like cars. Like, well, Did you ever see that? Did you ever see that? It was a '70 Cutlass 442 convertible that I had. I took
No.
that last year to Automotion. It was like
You've had so many goddamn cars. You go through
it was
cars like
it was Astro blue, and like it was a beautiful car. It was all full of mud. I mean, it was
yeah.
just a driver.
Which
But
yeah, what exactly? Yeah,
here,
yeah.
get this now. Like, okay, so like I've got a rental, and I got a shed down at this rental property, and I store stuff in there. Well, these two guys were renting the place, real good guys,
Yeah.
and the one kid's like, "Hey, do you mind if I store my Cutlass down there?" I'm like, "Ooh, you got a Cutlass? What do you got?" And he's like, "A '70." I'm like, "That's pretty badass." So he sticks it down there, and I pull up the tarp on it. One day, I'm under there, I'm sneaking around, and I'm like, "Ooh, that's like a 442. Ooh, that's like a really real W30 hood." And I'm like, "Oh, it's got a W30 wing on it." Dude, it was all the whole legit. It was just a clone, but you driving it down the road, it looks like a $250,000 car. Like it looks
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
W30 70 Cutlass 442.
Yeah.
So fast forward, like I'm mowing the lawn down there, and my mind's just running. And after a while, like this kid's like, "Oh, I knocked my girlfriend up," and I'm just like, jackpot. I'm like, "Here we go. Do you want to sell that car?"
Oh my God.
And he's like,
You
"Not
just
really, but how much you give me?" And I'm like, "I'll give you 12 grand for it right now, like cash." And the
yeah.
kid's like, "I can't sell it for that. Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "Well, whenever you need money, just let me know."
Yeah.
Dude, like a year goes by, he's moving out. He has no way to get rid of the car. Car all of a sudden just is not running because the fuel pump took a shit in it
Uh-huh.
because it just sat. So the
So
kid
let me
like
guess, it
asked
went
me
down to
again.
10. It went down to 10, didn't it? Didn't it? Are you fucking cheaper than that? Oh my God.
Like, I'll give you 8K.
Oh,
And the kid's like, "Okay, I can't get it
oh
out of
my
there. I can't
God.
move." I sold that fucker for like 25 grand.
Oh my God. So what you
That's
do
why.
is you prey on people who are down on their
Yes,
luck and you take their
yes,
nice vehicles. That's great.
absolutely.
That's great. You're a
Absolutely.
real piece of
I'm
shit.
what we call I would call myself an opportunist. That what I
An
not a
entrepreneur.
predator.
That's all it is. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I
No,
what a
predator is
sexual predator is to children, I am
you
to the
are to
car world.
to the car world. That's right. You have molested so many car owners. It's insane.
Yes.
It is insane.
But, to my chagrin, I
Show me on the Hemi where Dwight touched you right here. That's where it's at. Where he touched you. That's what it is.
I put
Well,
my
okay.
P in the V.
That's
But,
right there. Wait, hold on a sec.
yeah,
Well, it's actually bring this up, and I love talking cars. Especially you and Zach and I. It always goes back, and I haven't had a legit muscle car in quite some time, but it's still something that is, I think, ingrained in us. But that kind of leads me into what I wanted to ask, because I don't know where you stand on electric cars. We've never really had that discussion, and obviously, you got states like California who are like, hey, by 35, no more combustion vehicles can be produced in the state or sold, whatever it is.
yeah,
Tesla obviously has been all over the place. Elon Musk doing his thing. A lot of brands, GM, whoever, they're saying, yeah, by this year, no more combustion cars. We're going all electric fleet. However, I just read a study today. Hunter and I talked about it on our morning show, that the number of people who are interested in electric cars is going down. So more
yes.
people are saying, I'm not interested in it. I don't want it. What's your take on electric cars? Where are you at on that?
I have two
Do you
takes.
like them? Are they viable? Is it going to be viable in the near future?
Well, you know how technology always like surges forward, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it just, well, if the technology isn't there now, yeah, it'll probably be there later. But I have two takes on it. One, they're
Mhm.
cool. Like to see what those things can do is
Yeah.
like, dude, you look at, and I'm looking at like, I'm not looking at anything else but like the Tesla Plaid, like just insane, dude. That thing's a
Yeah.
rocket. Like
Yeah.
nine 920s. Like you give that thing to like my 6 year like a 6 year old nephew and he could run a 920 in it, right? And
Yeah.
it's super consistent to the point where like a lot of tracks have banned him from bracket racing. They're just like, no, get out of here. Like this is just
Really?
an internal. Yeah, yeah. No, I had a buddy down in Florida, and he was saying that too. That they're just kind of like getting rid of that. They're trying to like push those out from like drag racing because
Because they
they're just
just
super consistent. There's nothing to
yeah.
them. There's no driver ability to them. You just put your foot down, and the thing
Yep.
takes off. Very cool. Like,
Yeah.
dude, Elon Musk is like, he is a Tony Stark of our generation. Like, he's
Hmm.
just so weird, but yet like doesn't give a fuck. Like, and
Hmm.
I just got it, dude. The guy, like Jordan Peterson said that like the dude built like a space company, which is nearly impossible on a private one. Then he built a car company, which is nearly impossible, electric car company. Then he built a charging stations for him, which is nearly impossible. Then he put the car on the rocket and sent it into space, which is like totally impossible. Like, right?
with the CD playing in that, right? Wasn't it?
It's just crazy, like what the guy, So that is so cool. Like the Tesla stuff, man. Like when I
Hmm.
hear, like they have like a big fanboy club and stuff like that, which I can
Hmm.
understand, dude. Here's my problem with electric cars:
Hmm.
is they're unreliable as far as like I'm looking for something when I buy an everyday vehicle, I look for a survivability, right? Like if
Hmm.
shit goes sideways, am I going to get fuel for this thing? And is this thing going to be versatile enough if the roads aren't plowed? Is it gonna operate in extreme cold temperatures? We live in
Mm.
Wisconsin. Do I need to stop and charge this thing? What if the grid is down? I can always
Yeah.
get gasoline. I can hotwire a fucking fuel pump
Yeah.
to pull gas out of those pits. Am I going to charge my car? Probably not. Then you got to like get a generator to charge. Like they can shut your car off, and when I mean they, like the government, like I just don't trust them. Like
Yeah.
these vehicles with gasoline powered engines, internal combustion engines, you can't shut them down. Some of
Yeah.
them you can probably, but not the ones I drive. So there is that conspiracy theory part of me that's just like, nah, dude, you ain't getting me in one of those. Are they cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are they
Yeah.
something that I would rely on? Absolutely not. And do I think that it's sustainable? Nope. I don't think this is
So
just a fad. This is a fad that we're going through.
that's what's so crazy to me because like what I'm really excited about is self-drive. Dude, I've been on so many fucking trips like down to Missouri where there's parts of Illinois where I don't touch the brake or the gas. It's cruise control for I'm telling you like 4 hours. And I would love to be able to go boop 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 and just fucking sit back and relax. So I really like the cool techie side of it. But then you bring up a lot of the points where I think maybe some of the older, the Gen Xers, millennials, boomers, and everything, where we're still apprehensive on the reliability, the sustainability, what happens if the grid. We don't have enough charging stations right now. They don't go far enough. Is that going to be something that changes where you can drive over charging stations and it does it as technology progresses? So we have really cool stuff. We're just not there technologically to make it a viable source. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, and we're talking about is fuel too, right? Like, okay,
Yeah.
it's basically essentially in a electric car, fuel is the battery.
Mm-hmm.
The battery is still mined. Obviously, it's lithium and nickel and all that other stuff that comes with it. Like, so now you instead of fighting over oil, you're fighting over lithium.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my problem with electric vehicles: is versus combustion engines. Why not just change the fuel? Why not just change
Okay.
the fuel with a combustion engine? And they have been doing that, where they suck carbon out of the atmosphere and make this type of fuel that runs in any internal combustion engine. So why not
Huh.
just change the fuel in it? I would. I wouldn't
Yeah.
rely on electricity. I wouldn't rely on a battery that needs to be replaced so often, and then it's precious metals that need to be mined and
Yep.
pulled out of the earth. Like, and usually it's pretty icky shit, right? Like where
Yeah.
we're getting the metals from, right? So you're
Yep.
taking. Well, it's all. Here's the problem, Brock. Is all these like tree hugging, like, and I don't have a problem like with cleanliness, like, right? We all
Yeah.
want a clean environment, right?
Yeah.
But all these like tree huggers and all this other shit, like they're all talking about electric cars. It's like, dude, it's no better for the planet. It's just like you want to
Yep.
be shot or hung. Like it's
Yeah.
one or the other, dude. Like you're not saving the fucking planet at all.
Yep.
And these people just have this like they're versus virtue signaling this bullshit because they're idiots and they don't really understand. Dude, they couldn't change their own fucking oil. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna listen to you idiots. Like, no, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so it's not that. Like, it's. Why not just change the fuel in the thing, and and what they're saying is this new fuel burns cleaner,
Yeah.
and it's actually is net zero. So you pull out the carbon out of the air, make this fuel, and then whatever CO this puts back in is actually net neutral. So, I mean, why not just do that instead of like?
Now here's
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, Brock? Are you gonna run?
Yeah.
Are you gonna run all your backhoes and all your like mining equipment on batteries? I don't think so. You're still gonna have diesel engines for that.
And again, I think you brought up some really good points. It's interesting because you and I have never talked about this because we all get hung up on the, oh, go green, it's electric, but we don't think about all of the things that go into getting us to that point. And yes, at some point, we're going to hit that next tech surge and we'll fucking figure out the most, whatever. But right now, that's not the point. Or we need to start focusing more on how we can viably do it in this next generation, this next millennia, whatever it may be. Do you think, what is what I want to ask, put it on our conspiracy hat, is big oil hampering the production of this new fuel? Is big oil behind the lack of where we're at with our battery? Should we be farther along? But there's some people that have oil money that are keeping it from happening.
I think it's all lobbyists. It's all. Do we got to get everybody out of Washington? When I talk about getting into UFOs and like leaving this planet, I really do. Like, dude, we need to get away from these people. Like, it's the people in charge and their lobbyists and it's money. It's the same story that we've talked about. Like, it's just follow the money, right?
Yeah.
With the pharmaceutical companies to like these oil companies to like the big green companies. It's the same stuff. It's all subsidized by government. And if you can't get the money out of there, you can't stop that like that chain, that train of bureaucratic bullshit. You're never going to change anything. It just goes from one thing to another, to the next, the next money-making plan for the politicians and for these big corporations. That's what it is.
That's, and that's what's so wild. Cause when I look at it, I want to get excited about some of this new tech stuff and everything, but you see the people behind it and you're like, God damn it. This isn't benefiting any of us. This is padding their pockets. And it's hard to even get excited about it because we know it's like these fuckers are just doing whatever they can to keep them rich and us in the dark. Whether it's new tech or UFOs or whatever it may be.
To quote a great rock and roll band who may or may not have a pedophile in their band.
Oh, okay.
The Who, meet the new boss, same as the old boss.
Yep.
Ain't that the fucking truth?
Yeah, no shit. And yeah, you do. You get anybody, and I even see it now. You mentioned like even these tree huggers of this next generation, these rose-colored glasses of how we're going to save the planet. They're going to get corrupted when they get to a point where they can make a difference anyways. That's just how it goes. It's just eventually you can have all these great ideals, but that money just comes in and the money and the power just gums up all the works.
And it just goes to show like how the education system is, basically designed these kids to not critically think.
Yeah.
How just take aside these young people that like believe in all this like bullshit, right? Like global warming will destroy humanity within the next 5 years. Now they had to move it back. Dude, it's a religion, right? Think about that. Like, do you really believe this? And like sit them down and like, who told you this? Who put this in your head? Well, the TV did. Like, oh, okay. It's just like the COVID, just like everything else. Like the TV told me to do it, right?
Yeah.
Dude, totally unable to like critically think and be like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. The planet's not going to end.
It's easier now, and I think with we were talking about this the Flat Earth Society and how you're not a flat earther, by the way. I just want to make sure.
Why would I be?
I don't know. I don't know.
Why would you assume that? Because I believe in stuff that's true.
But that's thing. I think because there's so much information out there, and you and I could literally make a Wikipedia page for anything that we fucking wanted, but no one is willing now to source check. There's like, oh yeah, I'll take it.
But wait, Brock, is it because there's so much information out there, or is it because the people in power, whether it be the government, whether it be these like mysterious Bilderberg groups or whatever else is going on, right? Is it that, or have these people done such icky shit in the past that nobody trusts anything anymore? Is that where we're at? I think it's more that.
That's a good point. Now we become so skeptical because of what we've seen happen, the things we found out, and I don't even think we know everything there is to know. And maybe we're filling in the blanks with that, but that's a good point. That's a good point. Maybe now we're just like, no, fuck it.
Just like this UFO thing, right? Like if that all comes out, like they're gonna have to disclose a lot of really icky shit that they did, and like by like trying to make people look crazy, and maybe people have died, maybe they killed people, like
maybe exactly.
Do you trust the CIA? Honest to God, like I don't trust the FBI. I don't trust the CIA. Dude, I barely trust my local police department sometimes.
But you see that too. You see that. That's actually a really good point. All joking aside, I look at some of the shit our local government does. Our mayor, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And that's the mayor of a small town.
Absolutely, absolute power corrupts. Absolutely, right? They just go unchecked. It's just like, man, if God. I don't know who's listening right now, but man, if you start putting some, maybe I shouldn't say it. Hey, maybe.
I love it. It's even got you spinning. This is great.
Maybe, just maybe, if some of these people start dragging some of these politics, I'm not going to go there.
We're going to be on a watch list in no time.
Here's what needs to happen is they need to fear us. And they don't fear us whatsoever. Like they just keep us fighting each other, right? And we've talked about this. They just keep us at each other's throats. And they're just like, this is like, we'll give them their sports. Dude is Gladiator, right? We'll give them their sports, and they'll just ignore what's really going on. And
we got people arguing over a donkey and an elephant and whatever else, and it doesn't.
Same person. Beat the new boss, same as the old boss.
Yep.
Dude,
when do you think we lost that? When do you think we lost the government fearing us?
Great question. I think that was probably around like Eisenhower and Kennedy.
Yeah.
I think Eisenhower or Kennedy. I want to say probably Kennedy was our last real president.
So Kennedy was president for the people, and look what happened to him.
Yeah, and I think Trump was just an oops. Like, holy shit, how this happened? Like, this is crazy. Like, this should never have happened, and that's why they despise him so much. He's whether you like him or not, he's a threat. He's a threat to the system. He's a threat to the establishment. He's a threat to the matrix and the machine.
Well, that's lost.
I'm not going to vote for that guy. I'm not going to vote for Trump. No way. I'm going to vote for RFK. That's who I would vote for, and he's Democrat. But dude, he's a total threat to the machine. But I think Kennedy was our last guy, and look what happened to him.
Yeah, fucking second gunman on the grassy knoll, man. Harvey Oswald did not work alone. All right. CIA. CIA. I like when they release the Kennedy documents redacted. Like, you guys didn't fucking show us anything. That's all it was. It's
that's what they do to us, dude.
Yeah,
because they're just like these children that just we'll make some more racist comments, and then we'll give them some like race baiting stuff to chase in the news, like, and then they'll send out all their little fingers to like all the news networks to like parrot some bullshit, like how they can take our guns away and all this other stuff. It's like,
that's what people don't realize too. I love the news. I watch Fox, I watch MS. It's literally owned by like one company.
Same company. I've been saying that about Fox for years. Like, I despise Fox because of that. And it's just like, dude, all you guys are doing is trying to rebel rouse like the people that are like sitting at home at the right. Like, that's all you're trying to do.
Yeah,
you're CNN. You're same color per. It's the same. CNN is Fox.
It's just literally, and you watch. It doesn't matter which side you're on, whatever channel you're watching. All they're doing is trying to get you worked up, and these people pump it into their veins every single fucking morning. And it's like,
yeah,
right.
It's where, what is it? It's money. Like we're gonna create some fucking fear, and then
we'll pump it in. And now look, we got people fighting about gas motors, electric motors.
Yeah.
When really we should be figuring out what's the best solution. But instead we're like, no, I don't want this or this. You know what I mean? Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Like that's my take on it. Like I don't hate like, and I really wanted to sit down and think about like the car thing because it's a passion of mine, it's a hobby of mine, and like electric cars, you know, like, and I didn't want to be the guy to be like the big hater on them, you know, like I really tried not to be. So like that's why I had this like take on them. Like, hey, they're cool. You want to drive an electric car? You go for it, man. Like I'm all for that. Like it's just something different to drive. Like it's cool. And a Tesla's kind of a status thing too. I think it's very cool. It's just that don't force it down my fucking neck because it ain't gonna work, dude. And you're gonna run into all sorts of problems. We run into that in the plumbing world. We ran into that with toilets, and we ran into that with water heaters. What happened was back in the early 90s, they forced the companies to go from a 3-gallon flush toilet to a 1.6. It's huge, right? So the companies dumped all this R&D into trying to figure out how to flush a toilet effectively with only 1.6 gallons of water. What happened? They were fucking junk. They came out and there were so many problems with them. They were awful. Eventually, it caught up, right? But the government came in and said, you need to do this. And they panicked and we're like, okay, yeah. And they made a shit product. Eventually, it came out. Now we're seeing that with the 1.28 flush toilets. And we're also seeing that with water heaters becoming more efficient. The cost just goes through the roof because the companies aren't stupid. They pass that along to the customer. Duh.
Yeah.
Why not just let the companies do this on their own? Because eventually the customers are going to be like, I need a more efficient water heater. Okay, let's make more efficient water heaters. And then the cost doesn't go skyrocketing.
Yep. Yeah. And that's
so people don't get that.
No. I love it, man. I love that we started on electric vehicles. Well, we started with you stealing cars from people, and then we got plumbing in the. It's fantastic.
I paid hard-earned Federal Reserve notes for those vehicles.
Look, I gave them opportunities to give me a price, and you know what? It's up on them.
I even said, maybe I don't want this car. Maybe I want it, you know.
Well, how much did you put on the title when you went to retitle that thing? $1? Is that what you did?
I put exactly the purchase.
You are full of shit.
You know what? You think I'm going to admit to that on camera?
You did, right? Every vehicle I've ever purchased. Anyway.
Yeah, all right.
Well, this is good, man.
Dude, here's the other thing, too. Like, you buy that vehicle had tax paid on it when it was brand new. It had tax paid on it again when it was sold, and again when it was sold. Again, it's a 1968. Shouldn't that vehicle be exempt from taxes? No, but the government's broke. Like
that whole taxation without representation and double taxation, we are getting fucking raked every year I have to pay taxes on my truck. And I'm like, wait, hold on a second. When I bought that thing, I paid taxes on it. So why the fuck am I paying taxes again on it?
Wheel tax.
No. That's
no
double
taxation without representation.
Yep.
What did we do last time? We had a little revolutionary war over that.
We threw some tea in the goddamn water is what we did. And I'll do it again.
Was that? Now think about that. I haven't heard this come out. Was that cultural appropriation back then? And is that why these like libs are so up in arms about? You know, they're not even liberals; they're leftists.
Yeah, you can't say that anyway. Who knows?
But I'm just saying. Maybe you know the tree of liberty needs to be the blood of tyrants and patriots.
Yeah. I like it. Well, we're definitely on a list now at this point. After this podcast,
you are
sure.
You're on this, I was weird. I can't go to Chuck E. Cheese list.
No, I can't get close to playgrounds, like 500 yards of a playground, whatever. Anyway, well, anything else? I know you got to go probably spit shine that car. Make sure you can see your big
already done,
reflection
brother.
Already done, ready to go. You got to see that muscly reflection inside that paint.
That's right. I'm gonna. No, I actually, I haven't. I don't have too many test miles on it, so we're gonna go or blow. We're gonna see how this thing does and trip.
I know for a fact that you can drive home on the wires of your tire from the house.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna talk to you about that. You remember that was 2006. There is still a YouTube video on the internet of you shutting down the strip with your car.
Hold on.
You're the one that shut it down.
Automotion 2006.
You're never gonna find it. You're never gonna find it. Maybe you
I've
will
found
actually.
it. I've seen
It's
it before. I
grainy.
think
It looks like it was taken with a toaster.
Automotion 2006 burnout. Hold on, burnout. If I can find it
It's
quick,
it's an at night video. Like the thumbnail is an at night video of a car doing a burnout, and it's like the grainiest video.
I'm pretty sure it was shot on Zach's flip phone. Was it your flip phone?
No. It was shot by somebody, and they put together a montage video. And like
that's right.
The soundtrack to it is "All My Life" by the Foo Fighters or whatever. Yes. Yep. It's just a bunch of people do burnouts, and then you're at the end just sitting there, just doing this power break, and just the smoke billowing. And finally the police are like, "That's enough.
That's enough. Shut it down."
Yeah, dude.
I'll never forget when I pulled into the parking lot and that female cop was you. Well, I'm like, oh fuck, and I had been drinking. All right, I'm not proud of it. Okay, I had a few cocktails in me.
But here's the thing, Brock. I want to automotion has turned into this huge event. It's hundreds of thousands of people. It's thousands and thousands of cars, from like Lamborghini Aventadors to like Hemi Cudas to like whatever else, right?
It's a big deal, yeah.
It's a huge deal. And the reason why it's I would say it's probably the biggest event in Wisconsin as far as like just craziness, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Back in 2006, we started that. And not only just like we were there, we were like part of it. And not only were we part of it, you were like the main reason why the riot squad came out and shut down the strip, because it just got so crazy and out of control. And to this day is the reason why they like panic every time automotion comes around.
There was titties all over. There were titties all over the place.
There was chicks sitting on top of squad cars. Remember that? It showed like pulling their tops up to these cops who were sitting in the squad car, and then they started rocking the squad car. You remember that? Like thousands of people.
Yeah, it was wild, man.
They shut down the street. They shut down the street, and then in comes this like Cobra Mustang. While the cops had the street shut off, there's no traffic. It just starts whipping donuts. I don't remember that. It just starts whipping shitties.
I think I was back at the hotel at that point making another cocktail. I missed a few things because I was like, dude, I do not want to go to fucking.
Dude, the LA sideshows had nothing on this. Nothing on it. It was pandemonium, dude.
It was wild, man. It was wild. Good times.
We were there.
And I rode home. There. I put a hole in the ground. In the ground of that. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. We repaved the highway there, like with rubber. It was crazy.
Yep.
Crazy.
But we also didn't get in trouble. They said, all right, no more. And then we were done. You know,
nowadays you do that. Yeah. It's just like, okay. All right. Yeah. We'll go back. They brought out the riot squad. You know, they had little tear gas canisters with their riot gear, and they were walking on the street and stuff. And like, okay, maybe we took it a little too far. Yeah.
That's it. Probably. That's why I was hiding. I think I missed all the other shit because I'm like, I'm gonna go hide for a bit, and I'll come out.
Lay low. Maybe get yourself a safe house.
Brick killed a guy. I love it. Well, hey, have fun, buddy.
Yeah, bro.
And I tell you what, I'm gonna change this up when I post it, so everyone just keep an eye out on the Shootin' the Bull YouTube page, so you don't miss out on this. And then we'll see you next time. I think we got one more week, and then I'm on vacation. So
okay, where are you going?
I'll take it up. Missouri, going down to Missouri for family get together, all that shit. So
gotcha. Back to the res.
It's so hot and sticky down there. Back to the res with my squaw woman. Hey, how are you? Hey, how are you?
My God.
All right. It's fine. I can say that. I'm married to her. It's okay. All right. We'll see everyone next time.
There's nothing to do with that.